Yep, let's go. We're live.
We're live?
Yep.
We're live! Welcome back. I've been wanting a soundboard for a while. Stevie says no, so I'm making my own sounds. Guys, welcome. Stevie, the Drowned Pirate, as always, sailing the friendly seas with me. Ian, you missed out last week, mate. You're back in the studio. You didn't want to come along for Billy.
It's my potty mouth. I wasn't allowed.
I know. So, is that a beer in your pocket? He said, we were actually very well behaved, but he noticed that you weren't there, and we wanted to leave Ian at home because we were worried he would offend Billy. It's actually not the truth. You were very well invited, were you not? And he said no. The man said no to come along to Billy Walker. What's wrong with Posh Scotch? Drop it in the comments. Let us know what you think might be wrong with him. Maybe
that is going to be the most amount of comments we've ever had. Please.
Why do you think I said
What's wrong with Ian?
Let
us know down below.
Yeah. You missed out.
I know,
right?
I know I did.
Are you still
I'm very
kicking yourself?
upset. I am kicking myself.
Were there any tears shed when you watched the episode?
Of joy, of whatever.
Well, I mean, you missed out not only on meeting the great and powerful and absolutely wonderful, I might add, Billy Walker. I mean, what a gent he is. But you also missed out on what he shared with us.
I know.
So, I mean, we're going to do the full core range today, guys. Obviously, whilst we were very blessed to spend any time with Billy Walker, unfortunately, his day got a bit busier than he had planned. So, whereas we were going to go through the full core range with him, we didn't have the time. He very kindly shared the new cask strength batch 12, yet to be released still.
Yeah.
So we were the first people outside of the business to try that.
Awesome.
We were the only people, I think, other than Billy, to try the upcoming 35-year-old, which is just, I was watching that last night, and obviously for everyone who tuned in and was in the live comments, thank you so much for getting involved. It's really lovely to watch as our community gets involved in these little bits and pieces. And ultimately, that was an episode that was made possible by you guys at home, commenting, making sure that Glenallachie knew we wanted to get down there. But I was watching it last night and just thinking back, like, I had to pinch myself whilst we were trying that.
That day went so fast.
It was beyond surreal.
Because obviously in the morning we did a new piece of content that you won't see for a while on the Whiskey Baron, but we did something with Billy in the morning.
Yeah.
And literally, I think I kind of said, gee, like, keep Billy entertained for half an hour, and I went and reset up the studio in his lab, which is awesome, by the way.
Are you trying to make me cry again?
Yeah, it was so cool.
You missed out so
and
much,
that 35-year-old, I think he's got the boot of his car.
Yeah, he literally.
Joking.
He hadn't finished it again. I think he was saying to me, I think a couple of weeks before that or a week before that, and he was obviously taking it to somebody else to let them try it, but we got to try it first. Let me just fish that out of the car before someone else important tries it. You plebs can try it. Fucking brilliant. It was beyond special.
Yeah, no, it was incredible.
Beyond special. And then obviously we got to try it was the Fino that we,
yes,
which he's very passionate about.
Did
and obviously
you get the Fino?
We've got the Fino here. So at least I very nicely, the distillery got in touch afterwards and were like,
was it Marie or?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
Marie, right? Okay,
said,
cool.
Yeah, we're really sorry you couldn't make it. So we'd like to send you some goodies down to try on the podcast, and put on your own account as well. So we've got the 3 new sherry series: the Fino, the Amontillado, and the Oloroso, which we can try. Which you boys, I think, only tried the Fino when you were up there, right?
No, we tried a couple of other bits.
Did you?
As well.
All right.
There was also a bar.
There was a bar.
Wait, I know.
With the turbo, the Meikle Tòir, the turbo, which I hadn't tried yet, and that was exciting.
I've seen Ben getting excited about the bar as well.
Yeah. So you missed out. Like I say, let us know what's wrong with Ian. God knows. Today, let's start.
To read
I know. I'm looking forward to these comments.
Can I start drowning my sorrows?
Yes.
Please? What are we going to say?
Pass your glasses forward. Let's start. I'm going to start with the 12-year-old.
Yeah, so sorry, Jake. Not only have we got a Meikle Tòir, the 9-year-olds, we've got the core range here.
They really took care of us, sent us home with some samples. So massive thank you again, Billy, obviously, Billy Walker, for spending his time, for giving us so much knowledge and passion and just sharing his story and his whiskies with us. It was beyond cool.
What a swell guy.
What an absolute gentleman.
Yeah.
But equally the team there, the whole team there, it was Marie who really helped sort of setting it up for us, and Juliet, who again, we've got a distillery insight, a distillery tour video over on the Whiskey Baron, which will be coming out soon. Juliet very kindly gave me a really wonderful tour, an in-depth sort of look at everything Glenallachie. She sent us home with the core range, and the ladies made sure that you were sorted out because obviously they knew that you'd be tender having missed out on the incredible trip. They set you up with full bottles of the sherry series, which is really, really generous. And thank you so much again. We will be putting it to good use today. I wanted to start with the 12. Oh, you want to just...
Because you're chatting. Oh.
Chatting away, chatting shite. I wanted to start with the 12. And the reason being is obviously people normally start youngest and move up eldest. The 10-year-old being cask strength, and this is the batch number 11, so not the one we tried in last week's episode, but the one that's currently available. It is so much thicker and richer, and there is a lot more complexities to it. Not to say that there's anything missing from the 12. It's actually a really wonderful whiskey. But I would say that the 12 is more of an entry-level dram in their core range.
Yeah.
To me, it goes 12, 10, 15, 18, and then onwards, depending on how much your budget can stretch. I mean, 30, 35, if you're lucky enough.
And 45 eventually.
And in a few years to come, 45. I mean,
We'll have to go back for a podcast.
We've got a few years to wait, but yeah, can you imagine? And Ian misses it again. I think after this one, you definitely won't be missing another, right?
You'll be how old then, Ian?
65? Something like that.
I was working it out this morning. If those casks are from 1978, it's already a 45-year-old. You might not be waiting very long.
It's a good point.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know what the crack was. He said it won't be for a couple of years at least. So maybe there's a few and some of them are younger.
Maybe.
I don't know. But
where did your journey with Glenallachie start, Ian?
I started buying Glenallachie pretty much when Billy started releasing bottles. There wasn't a huge amount to buy beforehand, right? It was a Chivas-owned distillery. Almost all of it went into blending. There was a very cheap, like 20 quid supermarket bottle that was available.
You'd see it as IBs more often than...
Well, I think that was it. That was the only official bottling that had been released for quite some time.
Right.
But being a big Glendronach fan, obviously it was big news when Billy bought the distillery, right? And I think... I'm not sure I bought the 12 straight away. I think the 15 I certainly bought a bottle of. There were a bunch of single casks that were released. I've had quite a few bottles of Glenallachie in the collection over the years.
It's interesting because I hope you don't mind me saying this, but when we spoke about Glenallachie once before, you said you find sometimes it's inconsistent. And what was really interesting on the Billy episode is Billy said they're not going for consistency.
No.
And I thought that was really interesting that you picked up on that, because I haven't had huge amounts of Glenallachie, maybe like you have. So I haven't sort of kept up with maybe what you call the inconsistency.
He's obviously working with the spirit that he got his hands on. And apart from the Meikle Tòirs and the one future release, effectively everything that has been released to date has been Chivas blended Chivas created spirit. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's going to be inconsistent, and as we just said, a lot of it was destined for blending.
Yeah.
So some of the casks that it would have been just refill casks, quite tired stuff, and it's then going to take to whatever it's being finished in. I think quite differently.
Absolutely, yeah. And the funny thing is, I think going forward anyway, even though the spirit's great and the casks are strong. That's not his goal. It's an ever-evolving process.
For sure. I think
maybe with the Meikle Tòir and maybe the core range a little bit, but then again, there are batches.
And this is what I was going to go on to, and I'm not sure, I'm not speaking for you here, Ian. You maybe have said, and I haven't heard you say that before in all honesty, but maybe you've said in the past there's a lack of consistency in a negative way. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's been quite a bit of batch variation, and I've enjoyed some much more than others.
For sure. And so my point to that would be, I think that the batch variation from being quite significant ebbs and flows was something that maybe I picked up on a little bit early days when he had just taken over the distillery. I don't think there's as much variation now. And, you've got to bear in mind, took over the distillery in 2017. Core range came out 2018, right? Yeah. So straight away, as you say, he didn't really have his hands on the liquid for long before they were pumping out a full core range of products, which isn't easy to do. And so again, that level of consistency, I think, yes,
growing pains,
they're
right?
not chasing consistency. So it's not, but I think what they are chasing, well, we know what they're chasing because Billy told us, is perfection.
Yeah.
And I think that this is the thing, as Ian says, cask selection would not have been, the top priority there. Now moving forward, it absolutely fucking is.
Yeah.
Not only that, but obviously, as Ian says as well, they're creating the liquid. So, over the next 3 years, they'll actually see the 10-year-old created by Billy and his team hit the shelves, get bottled. And so I think that there has been inconsistencies in the past. There are now fewer inconsistencies. That gap is getting much smaller, and I think that again the quest for perfection is becoming much more apparent. Because I'd agree, in the past I've tried some Glenallachies, and some of them they haven't been great. They actually haven't been that good. But that was like quite early doors.
Yeah, I think what I'd say, which is both positive and a negative, is that they've been quite, I think, experimental with some of the casks. Lots of different, Billy's brought in, he's not just dousing everything in sherry, like Glendronach. He's taken a more similar approach perhaps to Benriach, where there's lots of different types of wood being brought in. Wine casks are now quite consistently part of the core range. And I think with the single casks as well, you see a much greater variety of ages, quite a lot of younger casks as well.
Yep.
And you sometimes those casks have been obviously quite wet or quite the finish or the maturation has been quite intense. And even though I think a lot of people sit there and look at my account and think, oh, Ian's a guy that loves sherry, I do, but I do like to taste the distillate as well.
Balance.
I want balance. And for me as well, I think the style of the sherry is super important as well. I don't like things just to be fruit juice. And it was really interesting before we started, Stevie, you were saying, this single cask you bought just tastes like kind of raisin juice. And I absolutely understand why people love that. I'm kind of going to approach this one with a bit of trepidation that it might be kind of too much.
Not something that you
for me
hunt down.
And I think that's what I mean by inconsistency, just in the sense that selfishly, not everything they've produced has been for me.
Right. Yeah. Well, look, this is the thing. Whiskey's a personal thing. So absolutely. But I know what you mean. And I think what's really wonderful about Glenallachie, and I don't know, I from what I understand, Billy certainly had the majority of control with Benriach, Glenglassaugh, and of course our favourite Ian Glendronach. But as you say, there was an awful lot of Oloroso, PX, oh, and Oloroso. Oh, and some more Oloroso, and here's some PX. And he actually said something, I don't know if it was whilst we were on camera at any point, maybe in the conversation, the incredible interview that I had. I'm so excited to launch that. Stay tuned, guys. Don't want to tease you too much. But he said at some point that, he wanted to, and I think it's why he picked the Fino to show with us. He wants to be known. It's not just all about that. And my God, I mean, this guy has got such a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the chemistry side of things, as you'll have seen. And if you didn't watch last week's episode, I don't know what the fuck you're doing here. Go back and watch the episode with Billy. He's far more knowledgeable than any of us. What a journey it was. But, the different impact that the Fino, what have we got here? Fino, Amontillado, and Manzanilla? Oloroso, cool. But there's more to it. There's different stuff going on. He's very passionate about Palicatado at the minute, which is something I was talking to him about off camera, because I'm very excited about what he's been talking about elsewhere. And guys, check out the Glenallachie's YouTube page, because they've got a really great YouTube page. They're pushing out some really good content at the moment. It's really, really interesting. And Billy's in most of it. So whilst we only got to share, one day with him, there's loads of content coming out there all the time. Highly recommend you check it out. What do we think about this 12-year-old, though? Because, I mean, for me, I actually I dipped into these last night. I decided I was watching back. I was watching Billy. I was watching our experience. I wanted to enjoy a few of the drams, so I dipped into a little bit of each of them. What do we think of the 12?
Yes, it's great. Remind me of the strength and the price.
It's 46%.
46%, yeah.
46,
Price. I believe it is about £45.
Okay.
I mean, look, Jesus.
Yeah. If it's 40,
Unless it's gone up a lot recently.
47.90, 39.17, 49.99. Yeah, between 40 and 50 pounds, basically. Yeah.
it's lovely. I much prefer the nose to the palate on this.
Okay.
There's this lovely like blackcurrant crumble and wine gums
Oh, really?
on the nose. Yeah, it's quite.
Yeah, I think when this was first launched, it was just sherry casks, I'm going to say. But now wine's been brought in, and you can definitely get the influence of the wine. It's been a hot minute since I've had the 12, and
I don't know if I'd agree with wine gums. That's really interesting. I agree with what you're saying. There's more
like
of an
that
influence
sweet
there.
jelly
Right, yeah.
packet flavour.
I'm missing that. That's a shame. Okay. I'm getting like more of I get like a freshly cut oak. I get a very kind of oaky vibe on it.
Yeah.
And I'm also getting like earthy, like a white pepper, an earthiness to it. A little bit of spice.
On the nose, or?
Both, actually.
Bit of both, yeah.
Softly on the nose, more so on the back palate, like, some earthiness. Yeah, a little bit of spice. I'd say white pepper would be where I'm at with that.
Yeah. I'm with Stevie. I'm getting a bit of red currant jelly on it. It's a little bit of tartness as well, as well as sweetness. It's interesting. It's a different balance to what I was expecting. Let's put it that way.
Right. Yeah.
What were you expecting?
I think from history, because it's been a while since I've had the 12 or 15, I was just expecting it to be a tad sweeter.
Right. A bit juicier.
Not necessarily juicier.
No.
Just, as I said, there's this kind of slightly kind of tart kind of bitterness to
I like it. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And
The
I think
balance
that's
is
where-
there. I get kind of like a walnutty thing going on, which is kind of on that vibe as well.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Yeah. And to be honest, for me as well, even at the distillery, I don't think we sampled any of the 12, which
I don't think
arguably
I'd had any of the core range.
was a bit daft. I did, yeah.
Yeah,
But
no, I was.
you were busy.
Too busy, mate.
Yeah.
Funny.
It's not that there's not heaps of depth to it, but I think once you take in consideration the price point,
Fucking brilliant. That would be my only negative thing to say versus the 10, which we'll come on to next. I feel it's a delicious whiskey.
yes,
I feel like there are a few things that may be missing because it's been watered down a bit much. I wouldn't say it's thin,
no,
but I think
it's
there's
getting close.
right, there's that line. And I think bumping this up to 48% even, and I know, look, obviously, again, they want their consistencies, and I think very similar. Again, you can tell that this is made by the same man and a lot of the same team.
Not many 12-year-olds even out there at 46%.
And this
Exactly
is the thing,
what I was gonna
which is
say,
why
yeah.
I'm not trying to make a jab or a complaint. I'm not taking away from what it is. And again, this is arguably, comparatively to the 10, this is their entry level.
Yep.
So I think it does a very good job for what it does. For me, and again, selfishly, absolutely, I think that there's just some elements of things that maybe would come out more. There's some really nice vanilla pod in there, but I think that would get richer at just a slightly higher strength. I think that, elements of that sort of juicy sweetness would maybe shine through a little bit more.
Yeah.
I get a really wonderful balance. And again, I think versus, in conjunction with what you're saying, versus what I thought it would be, that kind of almost uber sweetness, maybe almost simple, quite simple and sweet. It's actually quite complex, which is why I wouldn't take away from it. I just think slightly higher strength, you might get something different from it.
Yeah,
But,
I agree. I think what would be interesting and cool, this is not necessarily feedback aimed at the distillery, is if they took a kind of...
Good. They've given us all of this, mate.
Exactly.
We got now. If you wanted our notes.
No, not the notes. I think... given there's so many casks at play now, I think it would be interesting if maybe the cask makeup varied a little bit throughout the ages. I absolutely understand the kind of need for kind of like the desire for some consistency and then looking at the flavor profile and how it changes with age. But you could say, right, the 12 is bourbon and wine and the 15 is just PX and Oloroso.
Right.
And then the 18 is, I don't know, it's wine and sherry.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to see how the spirit changes with both age and differing cask types in the core range.
I mean, they have the potential to do that moving forward. Like you say, ultimately, at the moment, what they're working with is what they were given and then what they've been doing with that since.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the next 3-4 years, they'll have, full control over their 10-year-old from day dot. So that's where I think they will have those options to maybe start mixing and matching. I mean, whilst we were there, they were getting STR casks filled. They were getting... Oloroso casks filled. They had just done a bunch of, and we weren't allowed to name the winery, but a very, very nice chateau, some beautiful red wine casks. Fuck me, they smelt delicious.
Oh yes, I remember.
They were all these different bits and pieces being filled. And so this is the thing. I'll pass over the 10-year-old there, boys. I think that, I agree. I know what you're saying. I completely agree. I think that there is that option for them moving forward. And potentially, that would do them some more favours.
However, just before we go on to this, I think it was a good point there, Ian. Like, what other entry-level 12-year-olds are on the market for that price that give you that,
Yep.
Except for the Buna.
No. And sorry, to that point, that...
You think it stands up?
Glendronach 12, Buna 12, Glenallachie 12.
Wow.
I think they are in the same realm. Agree or disagree?
Yeah.
I think they're in the same realm. Granted, you maybe will say the Buna edges this out or the Glendronach edges, but I think that it's a fair fight. Whereas you put a lot of 12-year-olds up against those two and it's get ye fuck. No way. No conversation.
Yeah.
This is putting up a very good argument as to why Glenallachie is a fucking force to be reckoned with. And considering he's only had control, I mean, I say only, 7 years is a long time, but it's not long enough to have full control over that 12-year-old spirit. I think that says a lot about what Billy and his team are doing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll hopefully see that in the next round of Battle of the 12-year-olds then.
I think it's got to be, right? It's got to be. And guys, drop it in the comments. Let us know what you think should be going on. And just again, we really appreciate all of the support. If you didn't watch last week's episode, you definitely should. But there were so many people in the live comments giving us a good ribbing. Definitely giving you a good ribbing. Giving you a bit of a ribbing as well, man. Lots of nice comments about I looked quite nice. So I'll take the... there was no ribbing on my end.
I got the opposite comment, actually.
Yeah, you looked... What was it?
Getting worse by the day.
Jesus Christ, brutal.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah,
He's working hard, guys. Leave him alone. You're wearing a very nice shirt today. Explain the shirt there. That's a little bit of a nod to one of our followers. One of you gets it.
Yeah, so just for one of you out there, I saw your comment. Thank you very much, and that's all I'm going to say. If you know, you know.
I was going to wear the Glenallachie gear again, but you caught me lagging today.
I was going to put it on, but
bum,
this
bum.
turned up, and I thought, perfect.
Tidy.
Perfect. But no, thanks, people. Working so hard, I can't afford or have time for a haircut at the moment. So it's been a year. So, this on the nose.
10-year-old, yeah.
10-year-olds, cask strength, batch 11.
Yeah, it's...
This is batch 11, not 12 then.
WAP. Yeah, sorry, mate.
That's all right.
Didn't bring you any of the new one back.
I've not had 11 either, so...
Yeah, in fairness, I hadn't had 11 either. I had the 10, and I think I maybe had the 7 and the 8. I think I missed a couple of them. But this is again, to me, not their entry level because it offers so much. And we were trying that 35-year-old will come on to the sherry stuff. The higher strength really does afford this so much complexity. And I think what Billy said about it, don't water it down. Let it sit as it stands. It won't be overpowering. It will tease your taste buds out. It will get you into these new realms. I think if you're someone who's new to cask strength whiskey, this is a really good place to start because it is very well balanced,
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can sit with it for a while. As a newbie and as, someone who's drinking for a while.
Mm-hmm.
This is just the 12 just turned up quite a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fruits, the spice, it all just gets turned right up in this.
It's thicker, it's stickier.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember saying that on the day. It is sticky and it's kind of I get honey throughout all of these. It's like a thick Manuka honey on this 10. It's actually almost resinous, It's really quite wonderful. But in contrast as well, it's fresh. and it's pepperminty. And I can't stop thinking about it. I thought exactly the same thing last night as I was supping on it before Billy even said it. I remember him saying on the day, eucalyptus. And it is that freshness, that, wow, like there is a lot going on there, you know? And I get that in the sherry ones as well. And it's from the original maturation, right? But there's the cask strength really affords it that.
Yeah. It's interesting. I find it sweeter than the 12. It's more kind of the profile that I was kind of expecting. And actually, it's ever so slightly waxy on the palate for me as well. I think, you know, it's that kind of, the honey note is perfect.
Beeswax.
But it's the beeswax, that kind of goes
you're
with
so
it.
right. Absolutely fucking spot on. Yeah. Waxy. That's great. Yeah. But it's thick, it's sticky.
Yeah.
And there's dark chocolate in there as well, you know. There is like elements of, again, I know what you mean. It is much sweeter.
Yeah.
But it's still balanced.
Can I say something though?
Go on.
You Muppets, whilst you're up there, you started talking about it and you were like, oh, how much is this? And you were like, ooh, 90 quid, 100 quid, maybe 120 quid. Fucking morons, aren't you? They're going to get ideas and put the prices up. It's about 60 quid, isn't it?
Yeah, apparently. So someone
Absolute
said.
pair of bell
I was kind of
ends.
bouncing off of Ben because I didn't know, because he was the one.
He's the one buying it.
Buying it.
Yeah, look, to be honest with you, I put Billy on the spot completely there. Look, I think, again, we went in thinking we had the whole day with Billy. As we arrived, it was, sorry, guys, I've had something pop up this afternoon, so I have to leave. So we did the morning interview. That was grand. But then Stevie was running around like a fucking madman, trying to set up the lab, get us in there. We didn't actually prep Billy on what this was. So he kind of came into the podcast a bit like, okay.
Yeah, the way you saw him picking liquids in the podcast was literally just happening there and then.
We didn't know. We had no idea we were going to. I said 55, and he was like, no, fucking listen to me, Jake. Stop getting overexcited. It's 35.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we didn't know what we were doing. He didn't really know what he was doing. And again, it just goes to show how generous he is with his time, with his knowledge, with his liquid. It was really, really cool. But because we didn't prepare for it, I hadn't prepared him to say, by the way, we'll do a roundup at the end here. And of course, I didn't want to be jumping on my phone whilst I'm chatting to Billy Walker and, you know, searching prices and stuff. So, and again, but this is it. Look, you're joining us this week, guys. We're doing a full run through. Sit back, relax. If you haven't already, grab yourself a dram. Let us know in the comments what it is, because we've got the 15, the 18 coming up. But as you can see on the lineup over there, we also have the full bottles of the Sherry series, which is a really, really wonderful limited edition cask finish
with
series.
all the new branding as well.
All
which
new
has
branding.
Grown on me so much.
I don't understand why anyone is complaining about this branding.
Because for me it was just the balance, but we won't go into that. But I get it now, and it's grown on me. Probably because I've been there and they've been so nice and it was so lovely.
It's beautiful
But,
branding. I always really liked it.
yeah.
I think they updated it. They made it modern. They made it relevant, and I like the pops of colour.
It's very kind of elegantly simple, right?
Correct.
I have to say, I think the more gaudily coloured ones have always kind of not sat 100% with me.
Like the green and blues and
Yeah,
I
I like
what they've done with this sherry series, I think, is actually really fucking good. And the single cask as well. I think the single casks always looked good before as well. They got very quickly rebranded after Glenallachie launched. I think there was a kind of black and purple kind of pebbled effect that was only around for about the first kind of year or so.
Yeah.
And then they got replaced. Fancier box came in, and the kind of grey kind of labels took over. And again, I think this is a serious upgrade. Plus, it's also really cool having it next to the Meikle Tòir. And I think you can see like a really consistent brand identity.
This is it. And this is why I have to disagree with what you're saying. I like the core range, the blues, the purples. And I love how exactly that there is that consistency with the Meikle Tòir. It is very clearly the same brand, but it's a different feel. And I love the branding. I've loved the branding since it came out. I don't understand why people don't like the branding. I agree. I think that the limited editions, the hand fills, they look particularly good. They are very sexy bottles, you know. However, I think the core range is beautiful. I love the colours. They stand out on a shelf. It's modern. It's a bit different. Yeah. And again, for someone who maybe doesn't like whiskey, you know, doesn't know whiskey, going into a bar, oh, can I have that green Glenallachie. I don't know what it is. And as opposed to having to try and pronounce something that they can't fucking read, can I just have that, actually? I think in comparison to the old font, significantly better. It's cleaner, it's more modern, it's really on... Yeah, exactly. But it's really on brand for them, I think that it says exactly who they are.
I don't know why. I really like the little kind of dimple at the top of the label as well.
Yeah.
That's...
No, look, I love it. I love the type font. It was just the layout, I think, of the label that threw me off a bit. But listen, it was a change, and that does throw you off to be honest. But
people have to get used to it. When Aaron rebranded a few years back now, I really didn't like it to start with.
Yeah, I wasn't so sure on that one to begin with either, but it's grown on me since.
It grew on me quite quickly afterwards.
Yes.
You quickly realise how out of date the old was, and it's the same as Glenallachie now. When you look at the old bottles, it's just like, wow, that's fucking 90s font.
Very dated, yeah.
Yeah, it's very dated, yeah. So, no, they've done a great job, and they very quickly rebranded the whole distillery as well.
Yeah, they did.
All the logos on the building.
My God, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah,
they
so
keep
the distillery,
that place spotless.
You have to listen to this, Ian, because you weren't there, so I want you to endure it. But the distillery was beautiful, They've got a nice little shop there, nice array of spirits. The hand fills there, they had two, didn't they? They had the Chinkapin and the Oloroso.
Mm-hmm.
They had a few of the old branded sort of bottles there, and you got the last old branded Glenallachie pin, didn't you?
Snatch that right up, mate.
For your collection. I was annoyed at that.
Yeah. Mate, I collect my badges, dude. I'm not letting that one slide.
But their bar as well, their bar area, I can't imagine visiting there and that not being there. It's like, because what else would you do? That's a really nice touch to go out. Unfortunately, they don't do food, but you can go and sit. You can probably bring your own food. You can have some drinks. Everyone's friendly. And the distillery is probably one of the cleanest distilleries I've been in, apart from like maybe Lag. So far, it was top notch.
It really is. No, they really do put on a special show, and they had so many people flying in and out of there all the time we were there. We were there, 3 days?
Oh, they're just people just turning up. Yeah,
rammed.
And they fit them on the tour as well. That was what's great. You didn't. Yes, you can pre-book, but there were people just passing by and saying, "Can we get?" And they would. They'd say, "Yep, give me 5 minutes. I'll go get someone. We'll get you on."
Yeah, and they're ramping up for the summer as well. They had a bunch of new people in there, getting ready, They
did, yeah. Kev.
Really, really cool. Really, really cool. Yeah, shout out Kev. Exactly, he was very, very friendly. I love this. This is 60. This one's 60, 61? I forget now. The other one was 60.1. I think this one was slightly higher.
Sorry, this 10-year-old?
This 10-year-old.
Really?
Yeah. Doesn't taste it.
No.
10, batch 11. Where are we?
I think if you really dig your nose into it and sniff too quickly, you're going to get... you might get...
59.4.
59.4, yeah.
59.4.
But...
Exactly that. What Billy says, it teases your taste buds out. It's balanced. It's everything you want from a cask strength whiskey. Yeah. I think if you're new to cask strength whiskey, this is the place to go.
Yeah. Well, where do we go from here?
15?
15?
Shall we indulge?
Shall we?
Shall we?
Ambassador, you're spoiling us.
So, one of my favourite tasting notes last night, we had loads of people dropping in the comments, and sorry when I say last week's episode, when the Billy episode premiered, we had loads of people joining us in the live comments, and most of them having a little dram of Glenallachie, which was lovely. And Glenallachie 15 seems to be the crowd pleaser across the board. It seems to be kind of the one that people are going to, the one that they're keeping on their shelves.
Yep.
You can fucking understand why. One of my favourite tasting notes, again, from Is That a Beer in Your Pocket? Which they're just what did they say? I'm just a friendly stranger. I said, sorry, who's buying? No, not sharing my name. I'm just a friendly stranger. I was like, I fucking like that. And if you've got Glenallachie 15 in your glass, you're always welcome here, They said... Best tasting notes for this is just nom nom nom.
Yes.
And I would up that. I would say it's phenomenal. It's fucking good, man. I was supping on this one probably a bit more than all of them last night. I actually sort of had to stop myself. I was, oh shit, we're doing an episode tomorrow. I better say something. If I don't come along with that for Ian, he'll be very annoyed. But it's just Moorish. It is really, really delicious.
I think the 15 really appealed to a bunch of people when it first came out because it didn't come out immediately with the rest of the core range, which kind of started, I believe, as a 12, 18, and 25.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right. No 15 in that lineup then.
The 15, it took about another year or so to come out.
Right.
And when it came out, it was just sherry, and it was darker than the 18 or the 25. And again, when it came out, I think it was like 55, 57 pounds, something like that. It's obviously a little bit more now. People obviously just went...
It's between 65 and 80. That's what I was just checking. Excuse me for using my phone. I just thought we're going to come to price in a moment. So.
If you can get it for 65 still, it's barely more than when it came out. I mean, absolute bargain at 65.
Very, very good price. Yeah, correct. What I like about this one, for me, is again, we go back to the 12, we're saying how well balanced it was. The 10 is kind of more in that sticky, sweet, zone. This again, kind of, it's sweet, but there's a little bit more softer fruits coming through.
Yep.
It's not that raisins and marzipan. I think one thing that comes through this whole range for me is sultanas, raisins, marzipan, that sort of, typical Christmas cake sort of vibe that you get. But for me, this is actually a little bit fresher. It's peaches, there's a lot more going on. The honey is back, but as opposed to that rich, thick Manuka honey, it's kind of, quite clear, fresh honey, just runny honey,
I get quite a lot of milk chocolate from this one as well.
It's chocolatey, yeah, but it's a light chocolate versus, again, the 10, which is that dark, slightly more, bitter side of things. It's soft, sweet chocolate. Yeah, agreed. It is really yummy and moreish, and as a 15-year-old for 65, even up to 80 pounds.
I get quite a lot of water.
Do you? You think it's a bit thin?
I do, yeah.
That's interesting.
We have just come from the 10.
Yeah, you've come from the 10.
Right.
Yeah, I'll let your palate adjust a minute.
I am trying to, jokes aside. I do think just a couple of % up would do it wonders. I think it's just under for me.
This is still 46.
However,
46 still.
Yeah.
Still 46%.
Nothing is less than, as far as I know, that they've ever done.
It's just a bit too soft,
So I wasn't sure if it was a step up though. Sorry, no, I didn't think so. But I was just double checking.
All the core range is 46.
You know what though? It's more on the forefront once you've swallowed the dram and you're letting the flavors kind of like dance around or whatever. You get something from it. It's not just, but on the front there, it is the viscousness of it.
Oh, it's a texture thing. It's not a flavour thing.
No, correct. Yeah,
Right,
that's exactly
okay.
what I'm trying to get. It is a texture thing. But it's almost like it just sort of disintegrates away.
It's interesting that you say that, because I actually think that this is quite an oily whiskey. But I know what you mean. On the forefront of it, the texture isn't oily. It leaves your mouth coated in quite a nice oil.
Yes.
But I do kind of know what you mean
Yeah.
to begin with, just as it initially hits your palate. But it's not a flavour thing.
No,
I wouldn't say it's thin in that. Do you know what
flavour,
I mean?
No. I'm purely
that
talking
sense.
about.
Yeah, I can sort of get it, because it's not the kind of thing you can carve with a knife. But I do find it's quite velvety and full. And as you said, it's definitely oily in the way it coats your palate. But yeah, it does kind of like fall off the tongue kind of quite quickly.
It just disappears.
But I think to that point, and something that, you go to a tasting with Colin Dunn and he'll get you to, it's a 10-year-old whiskey, keep it on your palate for 10 seconds. It's a 15-year-old whiskey. This benefits, and what I would say is this is a wonderful whiskey, particularly for someone who's maybe wanting to get more into building up tasting notes and learning about that side of things, tasting whiskey. Wash this around your mouth. That soft element and the fact that it is oily and does coat your mouth really allows you to get into the flavors of the dram, And so actually, I think for somebody who's willing to give it some time and who wants to consider, this could be a very beautiful, very simple whiskey on the forefront if you're just knocking it back. it does the trick, right? And if that's all you want, that's all you'll get. Fine. But if you wash this over your tongue and really appreciate it on your palate and spend some time, huffing your glass
and don't
there.
have the 10-year-old beforehand.
And this is the thing, and this is why I said start with the 12. Maybe you should go 12, 15, 10, 18. Maybe still, you could be absolutely right. I think once we come onto the 18, that's where, again, those flavors. Something else I said, sultanas, raisins, marzipan, cherries is something. And we'll come on to the sherry, and Ben very kindly helped me with the Fino sherry. I said, this is cherry something. And he tried it and he went, it's Bakewell tarts. And I was like, that's what it is. It's not just cherries. It's that whole
nuts
pastry element.
yeah.
It's the marzipan that goes with it. And this is the thing. Marzipan, sultanas, raisins, but cherries is something that I get throughout the whole range now. It's really, really present. And I think that whereas in the sort of the first 2 or 3, certainly the 12 and the 15, it's a little bit more one-dimensional cherry. It's fresh cherries. In the 10 and the 18, you could argue that it's kind of both. It's those freshly picked, really ripe, juicy cherries, but it's also maraschino cherries. There's complexities going on. You're kind of bouncing all over the place.
And the 15 isn't trying to be that or anything like that,
But I think you wash this over your palate, dude. Like I'm getting orange peel now. I'm getting, like you said, there is that chocolatiness, and it actually starts off very simple and very milk chocolate and kind of just simple and nice.
I agree, actually. Yeah.
But now it's kind of growing into more of like a cacao sort of. I think that there's a lot going on here, and again, I think you could spend a lot of time with this. And the longer you spend with it, the more you'll learn to appreciate
Absolutely,
it. The more respect you'll give it because it really does deserve it.
Well, this is it, and I don't disrespect it.
Good.
Just literally, you wash your mouth out. But yeah, no, it's lovely, and for the price again.
Fuck
And everything's
off.
natural colour.
£80,
£65,
£65. It's phenomenal. And sorry, guys, we're back to our normal. Last week, everyone was saying, you've been very well behaved.
Yeah.
No swearing, because you weren't there.
Yeah.
Dirty bastard.
He's the bad influence.
Apparently.
Apparently so now. I think I must be one of the worst. But this is it. First of all, we had to just shut up and listen because, my God, that man knows a thing or two. But
I just
also,
wanted to soak it all in.
this is it. This is it. But
I don't think I'll ever get that opportunity again. So I was just like, all ears.
I think he enjoyed himself,
He said
He said he did enjoy it. But watching it back last night as well, I was like, you know what?
There was a few times that he really lit up. I
think
asked some questions and you
can tell how passionate he is about what
excited.
He does. He and this is again like he was so free and generous with his information, whereas some people might try and gatekeep. Like I've spent my whole life. He spent 50 years learning what he's learned. Some people might try and be a bit like, this is mine. I've built this. I've done this. And you should do it for yourself. He's just not like that at all. He just wanted to share everything.
Yeah.
It was so refreshing and wonderful. He's such an absolute gent.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. Like he would be well within his rights to enjoy a well-deserved retirement.
Oh, right. 100%.
and not sit down with us.
Yeah, do you know what? He could have easily just thought, fuck off. I'm not spending time with you absolute twits. Like, do you know what I mean?
And he said he chooses.
He really, and again, yeah, it was incredible. I'm still now pinching myself that we got to do it. It was such a pleasure. And I mean, it's clear again, let's move on to the 18 now, but it's clear he's put his fingerprints all over these whiskies.
Yeah.
So, Ian, have you opened any of your...
No, they literally
Limited releases,
arrived, I think, on Friday. It's Tuesday today.
What, you haven't opened any?
I haven't opened any of them yet, no.
You went to a quite big tasting over the weekend, didn't you, with your club?
I was at a tasting, and
like
I had my daughter as well.
20 dram
and,
lineup or something, didn't you?
Yeah, 10 dram lineup.
Anything particularly good?
No, generally not.
You should have bought a Glenallachie, dude. Lighten the whole room up.
Well, it was a tasting of world whiskey, so it wouldn't have counted.
Oh, right. Well
where's
Glenallachie's in the world. I don't know about that.
Yeah, outside Scotland, for us.
It's racist.
That's racist. Brilliant. Right, very good.
The nose is always impressive with Glenallachie, you know.
Right, sorry, yeah, 100%.
Always. And look, we're going even darker. So tell me, Jake, what have we got here? Because I don't think I actually tried the 18 for a very long
So this
time.
is the 18, and sorry, I was just double checking where we were at price point on this. I wanted to make sure that I got everything correct.
Is it just sherry? Is it...
I
So
think the core range has all got wine.
it is
in
still
it.
46%, and price-wise, we are looking 135
Yeah, I was
to
gonna say.
150,
Yeah.
give or take. Yeah, so 135 to 150 pounds. Sorry, what was your other question, Stevie?
Cask types.
Yeah, what's it made
okay.
up of?
Sorry. Okay, let me find.
185 quid.
It doesn't he say?
135 quid.
35.
I believe
okay.
that it's Oloroso PX wine
I think it's a bit of everything.
and bourbon originally finished in those three types of casks.
For sure. Look, I think that's what he's doing with a lot of the stuff, but it doesn't specifically say it's exclusively X. And like you say, once they start having, had full control over all of the liquid, it would be nice to see those slightly, different variations from age statement to age statement, or batch to batch even, or whatever it may be. I personally would prefer to see batch to batch, because if we're seeing all of the bourbon and sherry at 12 years old and then all of the wine and whatever, then all of a sudden we don't get to see what the sherry looks like at this age or the bourbon looks like at that age and whatever.
Yeah.
So I think cool different batch variations. And again, I think that they're the sort of distillery that might consider doing that, because they're not looking for the consistency, they're looking for the perfection. And so being able to put out batches where they let people know this is this and this is that, you've got this to look forward to, it's really, really cool. But yeah, for me, 46%, it's a lot more. It's complex again, but it's the alcohol is more vibrant in the glass.
I just think the integration it's there now, You can really see it in stages.
Right.
Going from and it kind of obvious, but sometimes not. I mean, the 10's still on par here, right? Mm-hmm. Given that percentage, but now for me, there's real depth here. I can really get stuck into this and chewing on this.
Yeah.
This is a fucking good dram.
Jan's gonna like that. Normally you give a little bit more, dude.
No, this is a fucking good dram. That's all I have to say, and that's all that's important to me.
No, I completely
I like
agree. I completely agree. I think, it is a fucking good dram. I think, like I said just a bit ago, that the complexity is what really gets me here. There is a slight nose prickle on the nose, and the alcohol sits really nicely. It's not overpowering. It's not unpleasant, but it seems a bit more than 46, and I think that's because the wealth of flavors and complexity is really coming to life. We went from Manuka honey in the 10 to then that kind of clear honey. This is more of a honeycomb. There's a bit more of a
crunch,
a texture. I don't know about a crunch, but yeah, there's more of a texture to it. Yeah. It's a bit thicker again, similar to the 10. I wouldn't say it's resinous, but there is like almost a piney element to it there. But like I say, the cherries, you're getting both the fresh, juicy cherries and the maraschino cherries, And
I'm going to go back to sweets, because for some reason, recent podcasts been coming up with literally sweet notes. This is like those jelly cherries. You remember those? For me,
I wasn't so much of a fan of them. What, like Haribo's?
I don't think Haribo's do cherries.
They do. The Tangfastic things, they do.
Yeah, this isn't like sour though. This is very sweet jelly cherries for me.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest. I didn't really like cherry sweets. So
probably my favourite sweets.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. Sweet. Yeah, I mean, it is definitely sweet. But again, the texture of it, it's buttery. It's creamy. It's
buttery, yeah.
Versus the oiliness.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's again, it's a different texture. It's you were saying velvety there a bit. It's silky. It's really, I don't want to say soft, because that makes it sound almost a little empty or something. But
refined,
right? Yeah, it's refined silk.
Can I be a party pooper?
He doesn't like
You
it.
can if you want, mate. I'll be a party pooper to you. You didn't meet Billy. Haha.
Right.
I've got that in my back pocket forevermore if you piss me off. You didn't meet Billy, mate. Unlucky. We tried a 35-year-old whiskey. I don't know if you know. Did you guys know we tried a 35-year-old whiskey and Ian said, nah, I'm all right, mate. Don't want to come to that.
Not that I didn't want to come.
See, this is why you weren't invited.
Exactly. Anyway.
Potty mouth coming out. Violent man over here.
For anyone who's listening on the Spotify or the podcast apps,
Ian is flipping the bird. Okay.
flipping the bird. How old are you? Jesus, I thought Ian was the eldest here. Go on, be a party pooper, you miserable fuck.
Perhaps going a little bit back to my point of I'd like to maybe see slightly different cask makeups across the ages. This is lovely, and it's better than the 15. I'm not sure it's twice from a price point perspective, the 15. What it hasn't perhaps done as a result of the fact that obviously everything is finished, it's not Billy's spirit, is that there's only so much you can do with casks, right? And if you have stuff that was maybe a little bit green or in tired casks beforehand, you perhaps haven't had the kind of everything you might hope for from a well-aged whiskey. And for me, this tastes, if you were to tell me this was kind of like a 16 versus the 15, I would sit there and politely nod my head and go, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Everything's just that little bit better.
Right, yeah, for sure. You're not being negative then, but you're just not as excited as maybe you would like to be for the price point or for what you were expecting from an 18.
Yeah, if you're looking at kind of like, if you were looking at this from a very business-like point of view, I would take 2 bottles of the 15 over a bottle of the 18.
Okay. You're not being too negative then.
No, absolutely not. It's delicious, but for me, it's a little bit too similar to the 15.
Okay. Look, I appreciate what you're saying. I think it does have that level up, but look, again, as time goes by and as, you know, the Billy Walker era of Glenallachie hits its 10, 12, 15, and 18-year-old markers, we will, of course, see those changes come through. Like
Absolutely.
you say, look, this is ultimately workhorse juice, you know? 11 years where they've had nothing to do with it. At least 11 years, you know?
Yep.
So I hear you. I definitely hear you. And maybe I would agree with the fact that I buy 2 of the 15s. But you'll have to stay tuned until the end of the episode to find that out. I still think it's bloody fucking good. Sorry, Jan. It is very, very good, though. And there's a lot going on in that glass. But yeah, all right, fair enough.
Where to next?
Should we move on?
What are we doing? Ian?
What are we doing?
What did you bring?
I don't know. You didn't bring me
More
any of the
importantly, what are
35-year-old
you
back
doing?
then.
You're all listening to us at home. What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you
Jesus.
Do you want to have a small detour?
Take us on a journey, Ian.
You're going to take us to the White Heather? I was really keen on those sherries, but I suppose I can wait for a little White Heather detour. Go on then, talk to us. Talk to the people.
So White Heather is the blended Scotch whiskey that comes out of Glenallachie. It's got some Islay malt in it, but it's not really peated heavily as in any way, shape, or form. It's a very, very gentle kind of
Heathery
smoke,
peat.
heathery peat. Very much unlike the Meikle Tòir.
You said Islay or Island?
Islay.
Yeah. It's just a small quantity of that, correct?
It's a small quantity, yeah. It's there's a very high malt content. It's well over 50%, whereas obviously a lot of blends are very high on the grain percentage. There's also a fair chunk of the malt is old Glenallachie anyway, so you've basically got, you know, probably 25-30% of this is effectively 21-year-old Glenallachie.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bargainous price. It's 21-year-old, 48.
Bargainous. Is that a word? I like that. It's a bargainous price.
It's about £120, so 21-year-old, 48%.
Okay. Okay.
Let's get it in our glass.
Can I have a
let's get
fresh
it
glass,
in the
actually?
Wait, did we
'cause,
try this on... Have you brought this
We
before?
have brought
Yeah, we've
our
had it
White
before.
Heather. Have we had this one? I brought the 15, I think, before.
Oh,
may
maybe
have
you
brought
did bring the other
15,
one
yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're very generous with all of your different White Heathers.
Gatekeeping
We
the
appreciate
21, though, so till now.
it. We wanted to get involved. he missed out on Billy, so he wanted to just, I know Billy too. This is some of his 21-year-old juice.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, be a good idea.
Thank you, sir.
I remember the 15 being very impressive, and in fact, you gifted me a bottle, I believe. Did you? Was it you?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, thanks if you did.
15 is great. I mean, again, the 15 is arguably
smash through it.
Even better value because that's like 50 quid or something.
And they had another blend on the shelves, or was that rum?
They have some rums as well. So they have the MacNairs series.
Yeah. Never heard of them, in all honesty, before I saw them in the shop, and I think Ben
the Lum
raved.
So so the MacNairs is rums, but they also have the MacNairs Lumreek, which is the...
Sorry, they had rum. Sorry, I wasn't listening at all. I was completely focused on this. I was not listening to you guys.
Pay attention, boy.
Sorry, sorry, rum. Cool. All right. Yeah. Nice. I was thinking of the Lumreek, which is the blended, right? The malt.
Yeah, that's a blended malt.
I take that back. That's what Ben was banging on about. He reckons that's the best blended malt ever.
It's pretty good. I like it.
For the price.
Yeah, it's good.
And I've never heard of it before I saw it in the shop.
I have gone through a couple of bottles of it.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
I'm trying to think of the 15 that you shared with us now. And to your point there a moment ago, 15 versus 18, I'm thinking, does this impress me as much as the 15? Or is it kind of similar for maybe double the price? Would I maybe just buy two of the other one? I'm trying to remember it, though. I don't remember it as vividly.
No,
it reminds me, the nose reminds me of it.
Yeah, there's definitely similarities between the two.
The nose really reminds me of it. I'm trying to think.
It's a lot richer, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been through a bottle recently.
Okay, you can remember it much better.
Yeah.
I think I've only tried it the once with you.
And it's great, but yeah.
Just sherry casks here as well. No wine in these, as far as I know.
Right, okay.
And the 15 has...
15's just sherry as well, I think.
Okay, yeah, okay. And what price point are we at, Ian, for this?
It's about £120, I think.
I don't know what grain they're using. I would assume Strathclyde, but it's fucking good. It's very well integrated.
There's a hint of it on the back palate, but it's not a
It's present on the nose, definitely.
Yeah.
No, it's very present on the nose, my guy. To me, anyway. But yeah, I'd agree. On the forefront, it's quite
I think
rich and robust, but the back palate does show off some of the...
Yeah. It's quite heavily sherried grain, though. It's not that kind of...
Do you think so?
Yeah, on the nose, to me, it's not kind of... It's definitely grain, but it's not just like an ex-bourbon kind of grain note that you get from me.
You say that. I find it really interesting. I think that if these are sherry casks, does it say absolute exclusive, no questions asked, is sherry? Because I have a feeling that if it is, it's some kind of tired casks for the grain, in all honesty. Not like judging it, not knocking it,
It's it's a finish. It's been married. Basically, it's blended into casks and then married for a year.
Yeah, I believe that. Okay, cool. So yeah, I disagree. I don't think it's sherried grain at all. And if it is sherried grain, then it's very
from the finish,
tired sherry, casks that have been in. I think the sherry finish is what you're tasting there.
Yeah.
I think to me, it's good grain, and it's probably 25 odd year old grain. I'd imagine that they probably use some slightly older juice on the grain side, but to me, it's definitely grainy, and that's what sort of.
You not enjoy that?
No, sorry, I'm not. Maybe I'm saying this wrong. It just shines through. It's wonderful.
It's there.
I know that it's there, though. Yeah. And again, it's not to say it's unbalanced, or you can tell that there's not huge portions of it in there, but it's very clearly a blended whiskey to me. And the grain element is what gives it away. It's, it has been married for a period, but a short period, and a year sounds about right. I think that the grain hasn't necessarily been in the best casks for its whole life. It's good grain. It's nice whiskey. It's yummy. From what I remember of the 15, I'd buy two of the 15. Not to spoil it all. Stay tuned to the end for final decisions. But yeah, it's still fucking good. It's still very good. And 21-year-old whiskey for what, 110, 120 quid, you say?
Yeah.
You can't complain. I don't want to take away from this. Grain whiskey is wonderful and it has its place, and I think this is definitely a place for it. So I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be negative. Maybe I'm
No,
sounding a little
I
bit
know what
off
you
on
mean.
it.
That's the thing. I think, in the same way that I think for me, the 15 would be sufficient compared to the 18. Like if you were saying, right, I've got 150 quid, 200 quid that I'm going to spend on Glenallachie's, like I'd maybe go for the 15 and the White Heather. Based on what we've had so far, maybe we're going to start adding in these.
It's nice though. It is nice. And as it sits in your glass, it opens up a bit more.
Okay, I think you like it less than I do. Stevie?
No, I really like it. Yeah, I'd say I've done a bottle or two of the 15.
You've done one, mate, have you?
Yeah, mate.
You've done a bottle.
And it was good. It was really good, especially for the price. And the 21, I think this is the first time I've had it, unless we've had it on here before. And again, like Jake said, 21-year-old for that price, and it tastes good, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Where to next?
Do you want to do the sherries, or do you want to go for the single cask next?
Let's we can mix it up a bit. Let's mix it up a bit. Let's go for, well, it's up to you. They're your bottles, so open what you want.
Oh, we'll open whatever we want. We can open all of them.
I don't think we've had a Fino. There's been no Fino finishes or maturation yet, has there?
No, but we did do the Fino in the last one.
Sorry, what last one?
Last week's episode.
Oh, in the lab.
In the lab.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, you weren't there, were you, Ian?
No.
Sorry,
Was he there?
mate.
No.
I don't think he was there.
Unless you got.
You missed out on that Fino, so maybe we should try the Fino for Ian, because Billy was very excited about the Fino, and you didn't get to try it because you weren't there.
Yeah.
So
Let's do it for Billy.
let's do it for Billy and for Ian,
For Billy.
who didn't meet Billy.
You're going to be lucky if it doesn't get cracked open over your head.
One day. One day.
Oh, fun,
I think Billy
mate.
made a point as well, didn't he? How. Like,
What, he was glad that Ian wasn't there. Sorry, mate. Can't help myself.
Just.
No, what
yeah.
did he say?
Of like. He loves, obviously, sherry.
Yeah.
And, he wanted to. I can't remember what I was going to say. But yeah, it was.
Wanted to showcase the Fino, maybe?
Sorry, yes, yeah. He wanted to say, like, look,
Pour your dram, mate.
I can.
Thank you, sir.
Is that a new glass? No.
Half expecting him to spit in my glass before he poured it. Yeah, no, he was
We need a pouring
excited.
system.
He was
No,
excited.
he kind
to
of wanted.
showcase it.
Sorry, that's my point.
Figure out how to fucking speak, mate. Come
Thanks,
on.
mate. Yeah,
It's all
hard
very
when
well and good
surrounded
to
by
take the
you
piss
guys.
out of Ian, but you've got to keep your mind at fucking
Sharp.
That's it, man.
No, he wanted to showcase this to us because he wanted to show that he's not all about the Oloroso
Yep.
and
And the PX.
the PX finishes, right?
Well, this is it. What I
know?
found really interesting about what he said about the Fino, and again, I can't remember if he said it on camera or off camera, so apologies, guys, if I'm just repeating what Billy Walker said. But to be honest, when you sit with a man with so much knowledge and experience and insight, it's difficult not to repeat what he says because you sound like a genius. But he was really interesting that he was saying about the Fino, and he was concerned, Ian. You missed this, so I'll just talk to you here.
He was concerned about Ian.
He was concerned about Ian, but no.
Well, it sounds like the viewers are as well, so...
Everyone's concerned about Ian. And remember, guys, drop in the comments, why are you concerned about Ian? What's wrong with him?
Please feel free to stop me in the street and stage an intervention.
Don't do, because you'll be walking around with your daughter at some point.
comments
and
are gonna
someone will
go-
come up to you and just give some absolute abuse, and Clara will be like, what the fuck is wrong with them, Dad?
The comments
What
are
have you
going
done?
to be fucking hilarious. And I'm actually going to jump in. Anyway.
I love it. No, he was concerned about the potential that the Fino might become overly drying.
Yeah.
And what you'll get here, he says, it didn't happen at all. The opposite happened, and it actually became this juice. And that's where I sort of said cherries. And he said, yes. And these are the sorts of notes that started coming out of it that we weren't necessarily expecting. So where he was kind of overly cautious and, knows Oloroso very well and let that run. And he was kind of watching that Fino and so I think that's why he was most excited to share this one with us on the day. And it's actually the dram that he shared with me in the interview on the Whiskey Baron beforehand as well. So
and it's fantastic.
and you can understand why it's fucking brilliant, isn't it?
This is a neck pour that has been in a glass for 2 fucking seconds, and it's banging.
Do you know what we mean? That Bakewell tarts.
Yes.
All right. It's Bakewell tarts. I'm very grateful for Ben helping me with that because it was cherries and it was icing sugar, but I couldn't. And it is a Bakewell tart in a glass.
But the texture is just that of the kind of like a properly fucking moist frangipan that you get in there. Mm-hmm. But there's also the kind of... It's not just that when it comes to the kind of almondiness of it as well. It is the fucking diced, chopped, kind of like roasted almonds as well.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Yeah, on the nuts there.
But again, strength on this, Ian?
48. Sorry, busy enjoying my...
Oh, fuck, is that it?
Yeah.
I thought it was up in the...
These specials...
Low 50s, yeah. What's really wonderful about this is you get that mentholy note again, that freshness, you know?
Yeah, right on the end.
Back palate.
And it's kind of like, and I think this may have been mentioned, so I might be repeating someone else's comment, but it's like once you've had a mint and then you breathe in. I think Ben said this.
I was saying about Fisherman's Friends.
Fisherman's
That's
Friends.
what I was saying. Yeah. How you've had it a few minutes later.
And it's there. That's where it is at the end. You breathe in and you get that just wisp.
Exactly that, dude. It's exactly that. Yeah. To me, exactly. It's wonderful. It's vibrant.
Is chemistry at its finest. You know what I mean?
And 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So he's nearly had his hands on it the whole fucking time. And this is where the magic starts to fucking happen. And this is where, give it 3 years, and this man's liquid is turning 10, and we are going to see more and more and more exciting things coming out of this distillery. You know, for me, my journey, and you didn't ask me actually, you asked him where his journey with Glenallachie starts. You didn't ask me.
Not interested.
A little bit offended. Fuck yourself. I'm going to tell the viewers anyway. My journey started with casks that we had under management, and unfortunately at the previous company that I worked for, which was one of those dirty cask investment companies, bastards that they were. But getting my hands on single cask Glenallachies and trying these interesting bits and pieces. But ultimately, as we've highlighted several times throughout this, it was a workhorse distillery. Cask selection wasn't the height of their sort of... it wasn't high up their list of importance. You know, it was putting out good malt, yes, but pumping out 4 million litres a year. I think they were very close to hitting their capacity. Billy is now whacked out way down. He's putting out 20% of their capacity at 800,000 litres. Now, it's still a lot of liquid, but this is now a craft distillery. This is a distillery that is incredibly focused on putting out good liquid. What I love about it is that the stills are resting, not only at night, but over the weekend. And as I discussed with Billy, again, this was definitely off camera, so I know I'm not repeating this. Something that I said to him, and he agreed with me, maybe just because he was being polite, and he was like, this guy's an idiot. But I think because he believed it as well, is like people. If I were to make you work 24/7, 365, you burn out pretty fucking...
like me.
So...
And that's the problem. I'm working Stevie too hard. So don't be too mean to him in the comments, because then you'll have no fucking podcasts going out, you know? But this is it. You'd burn out so quickly. And I think stills are the same, you know? The distillery has time to rest. The people are really focused on putting out good liquid. Billy is then putting it into the best casks possible.
Yeah.
This is where
he's fermenting longer, I believe, than they used to.
Significantly
longer.
Yeah.
And
playing around with fermentation times.
Playing around with fill levels. Strengths.
Yeah.
And they're running the stills significantly slower.
You don't have to tell me, mate. I was there. I heard it from Billy.
Oh, it's not getting old.
Excuse me for snorting, but it's too fucking good here, guys.
Billy is that kid at Christmas that has a giant chemistry set.
Yeah.
In the form of a distillery. And that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, you're right. You are right. He's playing around with it
all the time. And that's probably going back to kind of the inconsistency. Is there's going to be that because you're consistently trying new things out, you know. But my God, what a result this was.
It's
that
seriously
came out.
good. Can we actually? I'm sorry, I know I'm bullying you. Can you open another one of the bottles that you brought with you? Come on, we got them. We made sure that
Do
you
it
got
for
something
I'm gonna
special.
fucking
I made
pick them
sure
up and
that
walk
Juliette
out.
Marie knew how gutted you were, and we take the piss out of you, mate.
We haven't
You'll-
told him about the sandwiches.
You'll definitely be on the next one. Oh, I tell you what, they put on a spread for lunch.
Mate, sandwiches
they-
were unreal.
They actually did. They really took care of us.
I had 7
We will go back,
sandwiches.
Ian. I will make sure that we go back because
Thought you were
I
looking a bit more
know.
poorly, mate.
I know that, like me,
And cake.
you have been a Billy fan since your whiskey journey started. Because Glenallachie was your first, right?
First love, yeah. It took-
First, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, whiskey is amazing.
Yeah.
Same as me. And I think that, you know, Billy was instrumental in that. You know, he turned that into the distillery that we loved. And I think...
Sorry, mate, it's a process.
Look, I think, you know, he's been a hero of mine, and I know that he's been a hero of yours in the same way. So
I can't remember who said it.
we will
But-
get back there, I promise. you.
Someone messaged me, or it was on the Uncut Instagram or my Dram Pirate Instagram, and there was a story of you and Billy. He was like, "Oh, has Jay met Billy? Has he? I wouldn't have known." Because obviously,
I haven't shut the fuck up about it.
it's in there.
Mate, I'm never
Jay's
going to
got
shut
his
up
profile
about it.
picture. He sleeps with the picture of Billy next to his bed now. It's intense.
I've got a cushion made.
One of those sequence ones where you. Sorry, right. Let's
Love it.
get back to the important stuff.
Love it. Which
Where-
one's this? Is this Amontillado?
It is.
Yeah, you
And
can
where are
tell
we
straight
price
away.
point on this range?
That's a good question, actually.
I don't know.
I will have a look. Billy didn't tell me. Hold on. Glenallachie. I assume they're all probably the same. Sherry series. Pioneering Sherry. Where are we? No, that's
They've only just been released, so you may.
9-year-old Oloroso, 56.90.
That's a good price.
9-year-old Fino, 56.90.
yeah, they're probably all going to be 56.90.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so yeah, we're talking between 55 and 60 pounds. You've got someone trying to charge 63.95.
Who?
Don't know what they're doing.
Tell me who they are, Jake.
Barrels and botanicals.
Don't know them. Yeah.
Now, between 55 and 65 pounds, basically.
Okay.
So
Wow.
fuck.
Okay.
I
Jesus.
mean, well worth it on all fronts. That Fino.
I think we know what's going to happen with the Fino. Yeah.
I'm struggling to hold it in. I'm
You lot are
sorry.
going to buy it. That's what's gonna happen.
Right. This is definitely the one, isn't it? The Amontillado is a lot lighter in colour.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
Pretty similar in colour, I'd say.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm all right to say I'm wrong.
This leans.
It's more spicy on the nose.
It is, yeah.
It's more tropical fruitiness for me. It's kind of those light, kind of like.
Yeah,
Although-
it's almost guava-y.
Yeah, exactly that. I think that's what
It
I'm looking
is.
for.
That's weird. I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah, kind of.
It's very summer dram, you know.
That's really that's the nose and the palate is that's a journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's very, very different.
The fruit's almost kind of like a grilled fruit, not like barbecued, like smoky. But you know what I mean?
Grilled
like
peaches.
Yeah, I'm
Now that
thinking
you
like
said it, you
peaches,
bang on.
mangoes.
It's kind of
That sort of thing.
peaches. I know exactly what you're saying, but I know exactly what you're saying as well. It's very kind of tropical, but it's also orchardy and grilled fruits. Interesting. The nose is spicy. The nose is more black peppercorns. You know, I was saying white, that earthiness of the pepper, that kind of softer, gentler, less spicy but earthy note earlier. This is more spicy on the nose.
Again.
Diversity.
yeah, it's quite doughy.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like in the same way that you get that kind of frangipane note from the
In texture or in flavour?
little bit of both.
The texture, I would agree straight away.
What, like raw dough?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, if you were to make like a peach
Texture,
cookie dough
100%.
without the chocolate.
Texture is
Or
similar to what
very
you were
light
saying
milk
earlier.
chocolate.
It's kind of like watery on the mouth, you were saying, in that texture note of it. Texture is actually a very key component to this whole brand, I think. Texture is really present throughout all of them. It varies, you know. It is quite... it's really interesting. This one is vastly different. And again, 9?
They're all 9.
They're all 9. Fascinating that he's chosen 9. I fucking love that.
I
We're not
do.
going to wait
And
another
it's-
year just to label them as 10. We're going to bottle them at 9 because they're fucking good and you can all
And they're
buy it
ready,
and shut
yeah.
the fuck up. Do you know what I mean?
And I will.
Do you know exactly?
Because these are fucking great.
And
You
it's
can
sat
tell why I
there.
don't own a distillery. My marketing wouldn't be anywhere near it. Billy is so softly spoken. That lilt of his accent, he just speaks beautifully. He's
You'd be like a
wonderful.
fucking American like fast food restaurant advert.
I wouldn't
that
even be
someone's...
that nice, mate.
Who
I'm
was that
such
guy
a
that used to
bruiser.
do the sell the fences or the sheds? Do you remember?
Yeah, it'd be like a fucking Sill It Bang advert. Like, bang!
I'm Barry Scott.
God,
Buy
yeah.
my fucking whiskey. Bang!
Bang! And the whiskey's done!
I said buy one, you get one free. I said. Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
It's good. This is good.
they're great, mate.
This is actually really. This is different though. This is
Yeah.
vastly different.
It's nice to come away from this kind of quite well. You know, we've been on a journey of sherry here.
But sorry,
Kind
this is
of
still
like-
48%.
No, I know.
Sorry, what were you going to say? Sorry.
Sort of like the Oloroso and the heavy sort of wine, you know, and then to change
Branch
to
out
this.
into really.
Because before those, you wouldn't have done, would you? It was all kind of very based around that, and that's exactly why Billy did this. Wanted to kind of maybe prove a point to himself in a way, like, you know, I'm not
I
all
want to
about
try his
that.
Palacatada stuff. This is so
Has anything
fucking
been
good,
bottled, though?
and he's excited about the PC.
Hasn't been bottled though.
I didn't see anything. If it has, I'm
It's
gutted.
in the boot of his car. That's where it is, mate.
This is really good. This is very, very good. Can we get the Oloroso in the glass as well?
Yes.
I've actually got a little bit of each now. Can I have a fresh glass when you do pour, please, Ian? Because
Oh,
I'm having the best time. You know
want a-
what could make
you
it
want a
better?
fresh glass?
Billy being here. That's the only thing that can make this better.
I've had a better time, and that was with Billy.
That was with Billy.
Yeah,
Fresh
when
glass,
Ian
whilst
wasn't
you-
there.
When
Whilst-
Ian wasn't there. Right, yeah.
I'm opening my whiskey, getting you a fresh glass, whilst the two of you are sitting here bullying me.
Mate, we-
We're not
Put in a
bullying
good
you, mate.
word
We're just
for
being
you.
honest. Honesty is very important in relationships.
Yeah,
We're just letting you
amongst
know
friends.
that you're not as good as Billy Walker.
You pair of absolute bastards.
I'm looking forward to this Oloroso.
Drop it in the comments below, guys. Would you rather meet Ian Poshcotch or would you rather meet Billy Walker? I don't know. I do know.
Tough
but-
decision. There might be someone out there that.
Well, I'd rather meet Billy than me too, but I mean, like, fucking bad question.
Thank you very much, Ian. You're very generous with your pause. Oh, dearie me.
Here we go
So
again.
this is the Oloroso. So now kind of going back to kind of more typical,
Typical, exactly.
do you know what I mean? What you would expect from kind of any distillery. And what I really liked, actually, we'll come onto your Oloroso Hamfill now in a moment, Stevie. And they said to Ben at the distillery, 2 Hamfill casks there. Oloroso, Chinkapin. And Ben tried them both and went, fuck, they're both delicious. What do I buy? And I'm really sorry, I can't remember the name of the lady in the shop. She was really, really wonderful, very helpful, as were the whole team. And again, guys, go to Glenallachie. It's amazing. It's not a plug. We're not being paid for that. I'm just being honest. It was phenomenal. But he said, look, you've tried Oloroso before, right? You get Oloroso pretty much everywhere, but you haven't had Chinkapin. So buy the Chinkapin. And Ben bought the Chinkapin and then came back the next day and bought the Oloroso.
I said to him, I
So
said
this is
to
the
him,
thing, and they're both so
I tried
seriously
both,
good.
and I bought both on the spot. And
sure.
I said to Ben, "You'll be back tomorrow
I
for
actually,
that Oloroso."
you know what?
And he went, "You're probably right."
I was very, very well behaved. I bought one bottle.
I'm very
It was the
surprised.
Oloroso.
Yeah.
I went into that shop, and this is the thing though. I bought gear. I bought the hoodie. I bought the pins. I bought the I bought the fucking. I wanted to buy everything. I nearly tried to buy Billy. They said no, he's not available. You can't buy Billy. You can't go home with him. We'll have no distillery. I was like, millions of pounds here. Come on, I could do with his expertise in my business.
You were
No.
walking, talking Glenallachie ad for the next
Oh,
couple
I
of
still am.
days.
I
Yeah.
genuinely, I had to stop myself from
Yeah.
putting on the Glenallachie hoodie again today. And the Glenallachie hat, had the hat, wore
Yep.
a different hat. I was like, no, wear a different hat.
Yeah.
I need a haircut, by the way. It's warming up now. It's quite warm. I'd rather
Yeah.
not have the hat on, but my hair is a mess, so the hat
I reckon
stays
he's
on.
had a bad haircut. Someone.
Oh, no, luckily
wear
not.
hat.
Not for a long time. But Oloroso is more typical. Sorry, coming back. Oloroso is more typical, right? And I think what's interesting about this and the hand fill is it's very clean Oloroso. And I think that that's what the spirit really allows for, is casks to shine through, because it is light, it's fruity, it's quite an effervescent spirit, you know, it's vibrant, there's a lot going on in there. And so the casks can really start having their hold, but allowing as well, you know, and I think that's what's interesting about the 9 years old. Maybe he felt that they were reaching that point of, we don't want to overcook them, you know.
I mean, yeah, you probably could have left them for a year or two, and they would have still been great.
Oh.
But
For sure.
Absolutely.
But this is like the balance, you
Yeah.
know? That balance between distillate and Oloroso cask maturation.
it's balanced. It's also very approachable, right? As well, which they probably are going for.
Yeah.
50 odd quid. Thank you so
I think this is a beautiful distillery for people who don't know whiskey or are a little bit unsure. Where do I begin? Glenallachie.
I was a little bit naive before I went on the trip. I knew Glenallachie. I liked Glenallachie. It was nothing I went and searched for,
Right.
or kept up with.
I think it's a beautiful place to start on your whiskey journey. Equally, if you've been in your whiskey journey for years and you're looking for a variety of flavours, fuck me, can they deliver? You know what I mean? Like, they really can deliver.
Well, especially on these. And what do they call this line? Sorry, you probably have said.
This is the
it's
Sherry
just the
series.
limited edition.
This
This is
line.
Sherry series.
Sherry series, they've had others that have been called the Wood series
Oh,
in the
okay.
past.
Yep.
But no, they've
Yeah.
got more stuff coming out here.
From the
I say,
Master of
the
Wood.
PC is something I am really interested on. And yeah, trying to fit your smut in. This is why you didn't come, mate. Watch your
That
mouth.
was not. That was
Behave yourself.
Stevie's schoolboy
What are you talking
humour.
What did I say?
He sat there giggling like a 6-year-old
When?
when I said Billy was the master of wood.
I was just wanting you to clarify what you meant. That's all.
He is the master of wood, in fairness.
He is.
Say nothing else.
Moving on.
No. That's you,
Disgusting.
smutty. Don't smile at me like that, you fucking Patrick Swayze motherfucker.
Just the hair, mate. Just the hair, apparently. No.
This is good, though. And again, sorry, we've had cherry bakewells,
Yeah.
we've had guava, and now we've got this sort of spicy nuttiness. It's
Spicy dates.
spicy dates, right? Okay, yeah. Okay. Prunes, dates, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well done, sir.
There's one more bottle, isn't there? In this series, sorry.
There's,
Is there not?
There's a distillery exclusive. So there's the 17-year-old Solera cask.
Yeah, no,
which
this
you
is
can,
it.
Sorry,
From
there's not another 9-year-old of
I don't think so.
Not yet. I believe there
But
are
there-
more coming.
More coming.
to be added.
Keep your eyes out for that. I
Yeah.
mean, sorry, I say keep your eyes out for the Palo Keep your eyes out for these three. These three are fucking delicious. I'm just
mate.
very excited about the Palo because Billy was excited about it. And if these three are this good and he's excited about the Palo oh, good Lord. You're going to have to fight me for one. Do you know what I mean? See me in the shops and have a tug of war over a Palo Go on. I think you have the right to pour a dram from Stevie's bottle. The amount of abuse that we've both been giving you, fire.
I think it'd be good to try this one side by side with the I've still got a little bit of the Oloroso left.
I'm going to put the Fino and the Palicatado. The Fino and the Amontillado.
Please, and
Apologies.
don't be shy with yourselves. Pour
Into one
yourself
glass.
a good one.
Let me actually just rinse out. Sorry, 2 seconds.
Rinse your mouth out with soap.
I had that once as a kid. Yep.
Did your mum do that to you?
She did.
Mate,
I pushed her.
you pushed her the
I
wrong way.
deserved it. Yeah. She warned me.
I told you it was coming, Stevie.
Oh, I didn't believe her.
No, dearie me. Well, I tell you what.
Well, this is far from soap.
Oh, wouldn't mind my mouth washed out with this. That's just, again, level
Do you want me
up.
to plant something here?
Plant that seed.
I think they were called sun-made raisins.
Oh, dude.
Open that little cardboard box.
That beautiful woman on
I
the
used to
front
have a little
with
sniff.
the
That's
red
it. I think
bandana.
they changed that because of I don't
Because
know.
of what? She was
thought you were-
beautiful. I love her.
I think she might
Really?
be
They
some
still-
sort of slave or something. I don't know, but
some sort of slave.
Mate, they
I'm
changed
surprised you're old enough to even fucking know about that
it. They
shit.
changed it.
What are you on about, mate?
I'm
She was,
sure.
She was like one of my first loves. She was genuine.
Jake-
I would go to school with a little box of sun-made raisins, and I would just...
Jake,
no,
that's-
none of that. I was a
exactly what I was
child.
thinking about, yeah.
No one saw
I
that.
was a child. I will make sure that the camera is cut. You may be the one who edits it, but I will tell you, you cut to that camera. Show the people what you were doing. No,
Jake's
she
listening
was
to this.
beautiful. I loved her. It was all...
He got his packet of sun-made raisins out. He put "I touched myself" on the radio.
I was a child. Come on. No. I've had none of this. Let's come on. Reel it back in now, boys. This is exactly that.
She was a real woman. Sorry, I don't think she was a slave. I was just being stupid. But she was a real woman.
They didn't take her off the packaging.
I'm pretty sure there was some sort of wokeness around it. I'm pretty sure. But anyway,
I've not even seen them in the shops for donkey's years. So
that's probably why. Lorraine Collett.
anyway,
She actually
Oh, here we
was a
go.
woman.
Here it is. Yeah, sun-made makeover spot. Yeah, she got taken off the packet.
I don't know why. She was beautiful. She made me want sun-made raisins.
Let's stop here.
yeah.
Why?
Because we can tangent off.
Yeah, we
Anyway.
can tangent off.
But even in your mouth, it's sun-made raisins.
Thank you, Lorraine. It's
Control yourself, Ian.
it's rich.
It
It's
is.
so rich.
It is
So, Ian,
rich.
is that something you enjoy? Because you were hesitant.
I was, but it's absolutely not.
Now that we're 7 drams deep, it's actually quite fucking nice.
Lovely, yes.
no, so
Bring the sun-made.
This is delicious.
I've fucking banged on about like not liking modern sherry casks, right?
Right.
You know, prune juice, you know, and potentially surprisingly thin for what you're getting. Like you've filled it with sweet, sugary sherry vinegar that gets pressure washed into the cask and then fucking thrown away. This has clearly been a good quality like butt that this has gone into.
Phenomenal. Yeah, phenomenal quality. And sorry, 60, this was 62, 63, 62 point something?
62%. Yeah.
Bang on. Oh, right.
It's
okay. On the
it's
button.
sweet and it's but it has got a little bit of earthiness at the back end.
It's earthy, it's dry.
Yeah.
There's balance. The alcohol is there, it's present, but it's well integrated. It is just, I'm struggling for anything else other than thick raisins. It is sun-made. It's sun-made in a glass. And I'm sorry, I don't know why you want me to stop talking about Lorraine. I love that woman. I love this whiskey. Okay? She was a part of my childhood, and this will be part of the rest of my life. This is an amazing whiskey. You know?
Right.
Here's his nickname for her.
What?
The thick raisin.
This is yeah. Yeah, Jake is gonna.
You won't believe what I paid for this, though.
I will, because I bought a bottle.
Oh, did you get
Oh,
this one?
actually, no. You got a discount. Fucking hell.
It's the other thing, mate. On the first day, they give us discounts on everything in the shop. So that's
I
why
wasn't.
bought two
I was
fucking bottles.
never going to ask for a discount, my guy. I know you didn't ask for one.
Asked for a discount.
Oh, they were determined. They took such good care of us. It was obscene.
Go on. How much did?
It was like 90 quid or under. I can't remember.
It was £90 RRP. I paid 90, I think.
Oh, well then it was.
And
Sorry.
I think you
You're
paid
right.
like 70.
Yeah, I bought a load of stuff there and then. So yeah, I don't know individually. I didn't even look, but it was very reasonable.
I'm pretty sure it was £90 a bottle.
You're right.
Nice.
And Stevie ended up getting
I think it was 20% off.
employee discount they gave us, which was very
Nice,
generous.
that is.
I didn't get that, and I was never going to ask for that. Jesus Christ, that was like beyond generous from them. It's well worth. Sorry to ruin the roundup, guys. It's well worth £90.
I just feel whenever you're at Distillery,
62%.
especially when you're way up there.
How old is this?
12.
Not that it
It's
fucking
11,
matters.
I think. Is it?
Yeah, I thought it was 11 or 12.
11 or 12.
It's 11.
11 or you're looking at the label, mate. What do you mean 11 or 12?
Right there.
Tell us what it says. Oh,
11.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's there.
Oh, it says,
it
says it right in front of me.
It's got a distillation thing there. And
It's not 2012 years old, Ian.
Yeah, but you can't tell from a vintage, right? Can you? It's a year that is not the current year.
You're forgiven. I love you. I'm sorry. But no, it's 11 years old. Without the discount, going back to, if I'm ever at a distillery and there are hand fills, I just have to get one now. Because for so many reasons, right? No, don't need to say.
They absolutely slap.
Like, because you can't. Where are you going to get that?
And the beautiful thing about this was they let us try them both, and that wasn't just us. They let. I saw
true.
so many people come through that shop.
That's true.
I don't know which one to get. Oh, we'll try them. Like, don't take the piss. Don't go. Oh, can I try your hand fills? And then walk out. Don't be a cunt. Do you know what I mean? Buy one. But there were so many people. Oh, I don't know which one. And everyone that tried them both bought them fucking both. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? That
Yeah.
was genuine. Genuine. It was ridiculous. But yeah, this is thick raisins. Sorry. I'm
Yeah.
going to be thinking about that for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, you are. You're fucking rubbing your thighs, you dirty old man. You can have your.
Raisins.
You can have your.
Oh,
packet-
Lorraine.
Gonna get your picture of Lorraine Kelly out.
All right. We'll stop you there.
Lorraine Kelly.
Who's Lorraine Kelly?
She's a morning TV host, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Nah, you wouldn't.
She's not Sunmaid. No.
She hasn't got anything on Sunmaid, mate.
So we've walked our way through. I say walked our way through. We've ambled through Glenallachie at a leisurely pace now, and fuck me, is this a good distillery? We've got one Meikle Tòir, which again, Stevie, you bought this cask strength. You very kindly bought the Meikle Tòir as well. You're a gent.
We have
well
had
done.
it just recently there, but yeah, more than welcome to have a dram.
Well, we had it on the
Kind of
whiskeys
like
to
what's
watch
coming
for
up? Yeah,
2024,
yes, that's right,
which we'll drop in the comments below, guys. And it is a whiskey to watch. Now, obviously, there's a range of 4. The turbo is the one that a lot of people are getting excited about. Unfortunately, you can't fucking buy that. But if you go along to the distillery, you can try it in the bar, which is fucking great. Should we have a wee dram of that?
Let's
Round
do
up?
it while we round up. Yeah,
Yeah, I think so. Let's do it.
I knew Billy was short for time on our podcast.
You snuck in a question about the Meikle Tòir.
Had to.
And you so fucking... Sorry, guys, I have to round up. And we kept going for another 10, 15
I
minutes.
know. We did.
What a gent.
We did drag it a little bit, but I had to. I couldn't leave that room or that region without asking Billy about Meikle Tòir, because yes, we're at the Glenallachie Distillery. Yes, Meikle Tòir's obviously still there, but we hadn't really spoken about Meikle Tòir. Yeah, I just wanted to know what the plan was, and the plan actually was quite exciting. Maybe some single casks, maybe some higher strengths, all the things I wanted to hear.
For sure.
He said, and I like that. Rather than just sticking to a core range, it's not about money for him.
It's about perfection.
He doesn't need money.
It's about
Right?
experimentation.
It's about experimentation and letting people enjoy that. And I can't fucking wait to see a single cask Meikle Tòir, a cask strength Meikle Tòir, some weird experimental Meikle Tòir. I
Yeah.
mean, these are great. The whole fucking range is great. We've had them at whiskey shows.
Yep.
You've had, I think, half the range now, maybe all of it. You know, it's great.
I've had it all now. It was
So-
the turbo. Turbo was the only one I hadn't had a chance
Right,
to try.
yeah, yeah.
Tried it at the bar.
Yeah, completed it.
Brilliant. Completed it, mate. Damn it. Yeah, no,
So, yeah.
I'll be heading back once they release single casks or cask anything else. I'm going straight there to pick it up.
And you
Get
got to
it
be
from the
quick,
horse's
guys,
mouth.
because
That turbo went within about a week.
Oh, if
you
that.
couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
If that.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It flew. And as Ben said, call something the turbo. I mean, it sounds pretty fucking cool, doesn't it? The turbo. Fuck. All right, you've got me sold, But this is the sherry one. This is 5 years old. They're all 5, correct?
Yeah.
All 5-year-old. They measure the ppm into the bottle, which is brilliant. Really, again, we talk about Torre. I know it's a distillery that you're a very big fan of and excited about, and one that we're excited about, and hopefully we'll get some content with them soon. You were over on Sky recently. That
I was. Yeah.
fucking banging.
Lucky
Go
boy.
man yourself.
Did you meet Billy? No.
Yeah. I think this is wearing thin for him, but it's fucking lovely for me.
It's only this episode that this will happen. Ian.
I don't know about that. Comment.
I had a
Let us
lovely
know
time.
if you want us to keep bullying Ian.
I had a lovely time with Bruce. Thank you.
No idea who he is. No, it looks really cool, actually, in all seriousness. Sky is a place that we all
I really want to go.
want to go, and you've been,
Beautiful.
I bet.
Yeah, no, fair play. You can hold that one over us for a little while then.
We'll
Fair
save
enough.
that for the, not Meikle Tòir, the
Torre Vega.
Torre, episode.
Right. You boys have been fucking me off for long enough. What do you think about the whiskey?
This is delicious. It's sweet. It's bonfire smoke. It's got an element of kind of maple syrup to
Yes.
it.
Maple bacon.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I wouldn't say maple bacon personally, but it's kind of like
It's not very meaty, but there is
I
a
wouldn't
kind
say
of...
it's meaty. That's it. But
Oh, I get a little bit.
No, I don't get the meatiness to it. I get the sweet maple smoke.
So I think there's a little bit of fattiness to it. So maybe it's not the bacon. It's like, the kind of oil you get left in a pan after you've
Oil.
fried
The
some
grease.
bacon. The grease.
It's
the bacon
not.
grease.
Yeah, it's not meat fat. It's oily, fatty,
That white
greasy.
stuff that you have to scrape up and
Yeah.
yeah. I know what you mean by that. Yeah, and I can see that. The bonfire is heavy here.
Bonfire is heavy. It's barbecue bonfire. It's a dirty barbecue. It's a greasy, dirty barbecue.
You're licking the, when you don't clean your barbecue grate.
Yeah, yeah,
You're licking that off.
yeah. But it's greasy as well. It's dirty.
Yeah.
It's greasy.
No, it's a great fucking dram. And obviously Billy told us there and then why he wanted to release these at 5. 5 is young. But the reason is he wanted the peat to shine through there. I think
And it does. It
between
sings.
5 and 8 years old, he was saying is where he
It
feels
sings.
peat sings.
He's had control over the spirit. He's had control over the cask. This
Yes.
is
This is
100%.
Billy Walker juice.
Yeah.
And fuck me, is it good? I mean, and yeah, look, you're absolutely right, Stevie. Look, peat is ultimately considered an off note, like chemically, it's sulfur compound, right? It's something that will be drawn out of whiskey by the wood as it ages, and so 3 years being the minimum for whiskey. You get into 5 years, it starts becoming that little bit softer, and through to 7, 8 years, and that's where you'll start losing that peat. Now, look, I wouldn't be against the idea of trying a 20, 25, 30-year-old Meikle Tòir, but that's not what I'm in it for. And it's kind of like what we were saying when we were at Lag, shout out Lag, is I like the fact that their liquid works young, and I think it's where their liquid sings. Now, obviously, Lag is still very much in its infancy. I think once it hits that sort of 7, 8-year-old mark, it will start just belting. Not that it's not already, it's fucking phenomenal, but that's where it will be ideal. And I think Meikle Tòir again, 5, fuck, it's good. I mean, it's fucking amazing.
An 8-year-old.
I think 7 or 8 is kind of
Single
the
cask.
maximum where you want to take it to on a regular basis, on like a big batch release basis. I think past that, you'll start losing the essence of what it is.
It would still be interesting to see a 20-year-old Meikle Tòir one.
Hey, look, it'll be cool, but
I
it's
know-
like a one-off
I know what you
small
mean.
batch. I think it will lose the essence of Meikle Tòir. I think it will lose the essence of that rich, thick, peaty,
The attitude of the
greasy.
jam, yeah.
The attitude of it, yes.
Yeah.
And the contrast to Glenallachie, because there are similarities, but it's just that rich, thick barbecue smoke over it, That's what I love about the Meikle Tòir.
What percentage are you here? We 40,
48 as well.
Yeah, 48.
So
Yeah.
again, higher than the core range of the Glenallachie, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is an interesting choice from two because you do get that viscousness.
The
from
turbo
it.
really kicks it into another gear as
Yeah,
well,
it's
if I may
ridiculous.
say. Yeah.
Well, it's 77 ppm
Something like that, yeah.
Yep.
in the glass.
Uh-huh.
That's not to begin with, and that's up there, man.
And so phenomenally priced given what you're getting. So, yeah.
I think I'll be like 35, 40 quid for this. I can't remember that. Anyway,
Let's have a roundup now.
Yep.
Because we can sit here, and we probably will, all afternoon
well,
now,
we've got a guest coming.
chatting
who
about
you will
them.
see at some point. Special episode.
So, let's start with the 12. That's where we were at. Glenallachie, 12-year-old. Sorry, I'm just going to make sure that we get all of the prices exact.
About £45.
We're
said for
talking
that one.
anywhere between £45 and £50 generally. Maybe depending on your distributor going up to £55, but you should really be
Fuck
paying
them.
£45 to £50 exactly. Fuck them. That's why you didn't get invited, mate. Watch yourself, all right? You miss out.
Well, that's the distributors that are going to be getting upset, not Glenallachie.
No, absolutely. No, you're absolutely fucking right. £45 to £50 is exactly where the money is for this. 12-year-old Glenallachie, coming to you first, Stevie.
Can you say that again?
£45 to £50. Glenallachie, 12-year-old.
Coming in your face.
All right, bit much there.
Wow.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna budget because there's a lot of whiskies here.
Oh, fuck
off.
You absolute stain.
I'm
What are
gonna
you
budget? Taking a leaf out of other people's books, right?
You're saying don't buy? I'm going to jump out of this fucking chair and punch you. You won't be invited on the
Budget
next trip where we
fucking-
meet someone like Billy Walker.
I've seen Billy.
Watch yourself, mate.
And that
I'm
Watch
going
yourself.
to drunkenly try and hold the camera next time and do your job for you.
No, it's a
You're
great
hired.
buy. It's
Bam.
a great buy, though. If I had all these on offer and I had a budget, I'd be realistic.
Glenallachie, 12-year-old, 45 to £50. Answer the question. Buy or don't buy.
Buy,
Who shall
Ian.
bin it? It's
Yeah.
sorry.
It's a buy.
Right.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Correct.
Don't
Buy-
bully me
yeah.
yet, once.
I'll bully you right into it. It's a buy.
Buy.
Thank you. It's a strong buy.
I mean, yeah.
Look, there's a lot going on in that glass. Could there be a little bit more given out of it? As I said earlier, yeah, probably there's a little bit more to gain there. But this is an entry-level dram. I think this is a lot more entry-level than their 10-year-old. I think there's a lot to offer here for new dram drinkers. I think that this is up there with Bunner, with Glendronach.
Yeah.
Does it beat them? Maybe not, but maybe we need to get it in an episode.
It's close enough.
It's a challenger.
Yeah.
New Battle of the 12s coming soon. Drop in the comments what else you want to see, because Glenallachie 12 is in the running.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a very strong buy. 12, we've done the 12.
10.
10-year-old, batch 12 is what
Yeah.
I meant.
11.
Cask strength. Oh, sorry, this is batch 11 as well. Okay, let's just do it as a whole, because you tried it.
This is gonna be the
You
same
didn't
price.
try the batch
Yeah,
12, though.
I did
but
not.
Yeah, okay, unlucky, mate. Never mind.
Fucking hell. I thought we got over
10-year-old
this.
cask strength. This was the batch 11. We tried the
Price.
batch 12. That was between 60 and 70 pounds.
Rather than 120, you feckin' Egypts.
We said 100 to 110.
Oh,
And it was
yeah.
worth that. So, whatever.
I have to buy it now.
60 to 70 pounds.
But I have to buy two,
Right.
considering I thought it was higher.
Yeah. Very strong buy. I'd buy it over the 12.
Yeah. I am verging on an oosh. And the reason I'm not giving this an oosh is because I've tried the 12. And the 12 is actually that bit better. And what I love about Billy is saying he's chasing perfection. I'm going to be chasing these these cask strength batches now, because they are getting better. And that 12 is better than this one that we're trying now. And it's very, very cool to watch that go. Very, very strong buy. Definitely, like you, buy two. Verging on a noosh.
Wow.
We then moved on to the 15, which I believe is 70 to 80 pounds.
Yeah.
Pass from me.
Don't buy?
Yeah, it's a pass. Sorry.
You can drunkenly hold the camera next time, mate.
Yeah. It's another very strong buy for me because I think a lot of 15-year-olds are now going up in price well above £80, even getting close to 100 in
The idea
some
that you could pick this up to
circumstances.
60
And £65. I think, it maybe becomes a slightly different proposition at that top end of the 80 that some arseholes are charging for it.
But even if this is
it's
65 to £80, even at the £80, I think it's a buy. It's a very good buy. But
Yeah.
at 65,
At 65, it's a very strong buy.
and I completely agree. Strong buy. Really interesting, diverse. I understand why people who were watching last week's episode, you were in the live chat, you were saying the 15 is the way to go.
Yeah.
Nom.
Agree.
Delicious. Strong buy on the 15. 18. 135 to £150, Stevie.
Ooh, at the lower end of that, yes, I'd buy. Not in a hurry, but after having it, it's delicious. So yeah, £135. I'm in. Wouldn't pour it regularly, but
So that's the only one that's a don't buy for me. I'd have a 15 and a 10 and a few pennies change.
15
and a 10. Yeah, okay. Fair play.
Where are you at, Jake?
I would buy it. It would sneak over the line for me. Look, I appreciate it's definitely more expensive on the higher end of that £150. I think if you compare it to a lot of other 18s, it's a very strong contender. It is punchy to a certain degree, though, so I would probably just about sneak that over the line. It's the tightest out of all of them for me. It's a fucking delicious whiskey. The price point just, like Ian, I would probably go for a 10 and a something else.
Yeah.
With that being said, we move on to the White Heather,
yep.
Which, I'm sorry, I was actually looking at the price of the 9-year-old sherry casks.
Yeah, it's about 120 for the White Heather.
Okay, Stevie?
It's really yummy, but budget, man. It's a pass.
Okay,
It's a
don't buy.
for me, yeah.
I really like it.
You have bought it. Would you buy it again?
Well, I was sent one and then I bought it again. So yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, it's a buy from me.
Okay. It's a don't buy from me. And not to ruin the episode, it's the only don't buy of the day. It's very, very good. At £120, I'd dive into their other stuff.
Fair.
Just straight up, I think there's more interesting stuff happening elsewhere. Moving on to the sherry series, we are at £60.
Oh, mate.
Or even slightly under what you said, 57.50. You could find these as
You
low
can
as.
pick some of them up, 55, up to 55 to £65.
Yeah.
I'm saying £60 just
All
as a very easily accessible at £60.
Fino first.
Fino first. Let's quick fucking round.
It's an oosh!
Oosh from Stevie.
This is a Fino dram. It's an ooh.
Oh, an oosh from Ian, and I have to agree. Oosh on the Fino. Jesus wept. This is fucking good. You can understand why Billy was so excited to share it with
my
us.
God.
This is delicious. At that price, I am buying so many of these.
These
Oh
limited
my
runs
God.
as well.
They're all limited editions.
Buy now.
Buy now or forever.
I'm not even joking.
Regret
I'm
it.
buying a couple of those.
I'm going to
tonight.
look at a case, man. I'm genuinely going to look at a case. of that Fino.
I'm going to have to get another one
Fucking
now.
Delicious.
I think I was caught up in the hustle and bustle of the day, but sitting here and relaxing a little bit more.
Not
today.
having Billy there going, oh, I need to.
Mate, I was so paranoid that cameras weren't on.
Yeah.
That's how I think when
No,
I'm in
of course.
those situations, especially with Billy.
Fino was phenomenal.
But today, fuck me, the price as well. Yeah, well done. Sensational liquid there.
Boom. All right, moving on.
Amontillado.
Amontillado, same price, £60.
It's a strong buy, yeah.
Strong buy?
Yep.
It's a buy. I was almost tempted to say don't buy because just buy more of the fucking Fino.
Okay, fair.
But judging it by itself is still a buy.
It's a very strong buy for me. What I love about it, yes, look, the Fino is better. I love the variation.
Yeah,
and it's so
exactly.
clear that there's different things going on. And look, again, you talk about the White Heather, £120. I'd almost be tempted to buy two of these. And I think Fino and Amontillado are a great place to go. Like we say, you have Oloroso elsewhere. So buy these two. They are vastly different. You're going to have two very different experiences, but two beautiful experiences. So it's a super, super strong buy for me. Actually verging on an oosh again, because fuck me, that is good juice. Moving on to the Oloroso, £60 again. Stevie!
It's another no-brainer from this series.
Yeah.
They're all phenomenal.
Right.
For the price.
9-year-old, solid
Yeah.
whiskey, sherry casks, highest quality. Boom.
You can't go wrong.
Okay, cool.
No
Bye,
matter
bye,
what
bye.
you like,
Yeah.
you can't go wrong.
Bye.
Cool.
Just bye.
Say nothing else.
Yeah.
All right. Ian's spoken, and we know he likes to be honest, and I have to agree, very, very strong buy. Yeah, I mean, look, again, we talk about Oloroso being widely available, but fuck me, does it suit the Glenallachie distillate? That is delicious.
Yeah.
And again, it's up there verging on a noosh for me. I don't want to get overexcited about all of this stuff. I don't want to oversell it. The Fino is the one that really slaps hard, but the other two are not far behind. If you have £180 to spend, buy all three. You will have the best value little setup there. You can do a really cool tasting with some friends. God, it's worth it. Moving on to the Glenallachie Oloroso 11-year-old distillery exclusive. We're talking £90.
£90.
Unless, like Stevie, you're lucky enough to come along to the distillery, meet Billy, which Ian didn't, but there we go, and get a bit of a discount. Stevie, obviously, you bought it at 70 odd pounds with a very, very generous discount.
Let's stick to 90.
Would you buy it at £90? Now you've drunk it, would you buy it again at 90?
Oh, would I buy it at 90? The fact that I have to think about it is maybe... I think I just need one bottle of that and I'm going to try and make it last.
Okay.
It's £90.
You bought it, you're happy with it.
You've got to go there.
You're not rushing back to it again. You maybe go to some of the others.
The thing is, Jake, is it's such a viscous and rich dram. You don't need loads of it.
It's not an everyday.
It's not an everyday.
No, for
It
sure.
will last.
For sure.
So £90 goes a long way. It's a strong buy on the back that I bought it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Okay.
And I would buy it again when I eventually run out and if I go back to the distillery. However, what I will say...
When you go back to the distillery, my guy.
That's what I said, right?
You said if.
Oh, right.
We're going back.
When we go back, I'll be picking up more. And for you at home, if you ever visit a distillery, especially Glenallachie, pick them up. Because you're not going to try them again.
So worth it.
And it's so worth it. Yeah, it's a fucking great dram. Ian.
I was, as I said, a little bit cautious about this going into it.
I was worried.
I've tried it. I've drunk it. And it's an oosh!
Oh, love it. Very good.
Booyakasha.
I like that, man. And that just goes to show there is so much exciting stuff at this distillery. It's really fucking cool what they're doing. I am kind of between the two of you. It's nearing an oosh for me. I'm so glad I've got a bottle that's sealed. I'll be opening it probably all too soon. It's super, super strong buy. I'd definitely buy another one. And I agree. It's not the sort of everyday sipper. I will probably go through it too quickly.
Yeah.
So I will have to be going back.
Do you know
very
why
soon
you probably go?
to pick up
Because
another
you'll be
one.
like, you need to try this.
And that's
You'll
exactly
just
it.
keep handing out, you've got to try this.
Straight up.
No, it's fucking great.
Straight up. Okay, cool. And finally, moving on to the Meikle Tòir, which is the new peated series coming out of the distillery. I believe that these are circa £40. You can pick them up as low as sort of 38, 37, maybe even 35, depending on where you're buying. The turbo certainly sold for a little bit more. I see 32.82 on the Chinkapin. So 35 to 45 £5, let's say. I think it does vary a little bit. And to be honest, these have been selling out quite quickly on certain sites. So let's say a £40 smack bang in the middle. This is the sherry one. Stevie, you bought a bottle. Will you be buying it again?
Yeah, I'll be buying many of these again.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a strong buy. Value for money, something new. You know, Billy has full control here.
Yeah.
This is his baby from the start. And the peat element, I just love.
Yeah.
Glenallachie in a bonfire, love it, you know.
Cool.
Yeah. Opportunity to try Billy's spirit, Billy's care and craft across the life cycle of the dram for less than 40 quid. Be silly not to. It's a strong buy.
I just wanted to try it again because this is fucking delicious. And I have to disagree with both of you. This is an oosh. It's delicious. It's so worth the money. The price is what really bumps it over the edge for me. As far as I'm concerned, this is such serious value for money. And just going back to last week's episode, we were talking about the 10-year-old cask strength batches and how they were worth more this is worth more. I would buy this at 50, 60, 70 pounds and I would be happy with it. So at 40 pounds, you cannot complain. This is amazing liquid. It's a phenomenal price. And it's wonderful to see a distillery getting into not only a diversity of casks, but also a diversity of juice. That real difference there. The peated style suits the liquid so well. I'm excited to see what's coming. And I don't blame you. And I'm so thankful that you did have the audacity to sort of butt in and make sure Billy didn't leave without answering some questions. So this is it. I think it was really fucking cool.
Jake, just before we wrap up, can you remember when we were walking around Glenallachie Distillery, they had 4 stills, right? Can you remember what comes off of which? There was something interesting there from the still point of view. Can you remember?
They have horizontal line arms.
Horizontal line arms. But did
horizontal
they use
condensers,
different stills for the Meikle Tòir to the Glenallachie?
No, they use all the same.
They're all the same, right?
It's all the same all the time. They don't run the peated and the unpeated through different stills or whatever. They just do peated at one point during the year and that's that.
Okay.
They have horizontal condensers and it was built in a way that was supposed to be kind of... environmentally friendly, using less energy.
Interesting little fact. Anyway, we'll have a video on the tour there.
Yeah, coming up soon.
So look out for that.
But guys, look, as you can tell, we love Glenallachie. There is so much exciting stuff going on there. You have to visit, get up, meet the team. If you're lucky enough to meet Billy, which Ian obviously wasn't, definitely get in there, say hello, mention that you've watched our content. Obviously, it was thanks to all of you at home that we managed to meet Billy in the first place. And if you comment, subscribe, like, let us know who else you want to see. We will be able to book in those tours.
We can continue doing this.
We'll continue doing this for you guys. Look, at the end of the day, it's why we do it. You know, we love what we do, but we're really putting a lot of time in and effort into this content at the moment because of all of you at home. So thank you so much for joining us. Ian, condolences. I'm sorry you didn't meet Billy, but I'm glad we got to sit down with you and at least try his juice today. It's been a pleasure as always.
Please go fuck yourselves.
Gents, launch of eyes. Lovely to sit down. See you next time.
Cheers.